Renegade football on Time Warner Cable. Catch all the Bakersfield College home games exclusively on CNNSI, Channel 52. Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. with encore showings on Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. following high school football. Hard-hitting, high-scoring, that's BC football. Brought to you by Motor City and Mish Funeral Home.
The following is a special presentation exclusively from Time Warner Cable, brought to you by the generous sponsorship of Motor City and Mish Funeral Home.
Good evening from South High School. Welcome to the Prep Football Game of the Week on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 52. I'm Mark Heffernan with Brian Adams. The Rebels come into the game with a record of 0-6. They have a very young unit, and they have played a lot of close games. East is 4-2 and coming off an impressive victory over BHS 14-13.
Yeah, tonight we have South High, like you said, 0-6, but they have been in some games. Could have pulled some off, but they didn't. They're a young team, and they're going to take some bumps this year in learning to play at the next level. And then East High, like you said, come off a big win. They haven't beat BHS since 1986, so that's a big win for the program. And also, it puts them on top of the league.
East High has a big offensive line, and their main player is Robert Johnson, an outstanding wide receiver and punt returner.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. We've seen a lot of running backs this year, but we really haven't seen a wide receiver, with the exception of Bright at Centennial, who has the ability to make some big plays at the receiver position.
Paul Padilla, the #1 quarterback at East High, will not play tonight. In fact, he'll be used in an emergency situation because he injured his back last week.
Yeah, so whoever the backup quarterback is tonight, whichever one they go with, going to have to step in and not try to feel he has to win the game, but just stay calm and let his players make plays for him.
From Rebel Stadium, it's East and South tonight on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 52.
I'm sitting across from a person who's getting ready to write a large sum of money for an automobile, and I've purchased vehicles before, and I know exactly what they're going through. It can be nerve-wracking. The no-hassle, no-haggle price allows Saturn to be so much at ease with the customer and allows us to treat everyone so fair. It really doesn't matter whether you do a short-term lease, a long-term lease, short-term financing, long-term financing, or cash. Once you're in the Saturn family, you're in the Saturn family. I am going to see this person again. You see him at the supermarket, and you see him in a restaurant, so we want to make sure they are completely comfortable with the entire process.
I'm Ray Mish, and I know grief comes in many forms. Over the past 40 years, the Mish family has given compassionate, understanding services to thousands of grieving families. The Mish family can provide all needs regardless of your traditions. It may be traditional funeral services or cremation, even counseling for pre-arranged funeral plans. We have 2 locations in Oildale and the Southwest just to help you, and that makes a whole lot of difference.
And a plus good evening from South High School on the campus Rebel Yale Stadium. South High coming in with a record of 0-6 and East High 4-2. Mark Heffernan with Brian Adams on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 52. A big game for East High coming off that victory over BHS last week, 14-13. Also a big game for South High. They try to get into the win column. They have a very young team. They have been struggling this year, but they've been close in a lot of encounters.
Yes, Mark, and tonight for South, they've been staying in the game for about 3 quarters, and they've been losing it in the 4th. tonight they want to try to come in, stay in the game, make some big plays, and hopefully get their first victory. If you're East High, they're going to come out tonight and try to show that they're the better team, all this non-conference, but they're going to send a message to the other teams in the league that they're the best team to beat this year.
East High this year offensively has gained 1,488 yards total offense, 628 on the ground, 840 through the air, number 17 in the area. Defensively, number 9. They've allowed 948 on the ground, 499 through the air, 1,441 yards. Paul Padilla, who is their number 1 quarterback, will only be used in that emergency situation tonight. He was hurt last week in that victory over BHS. He has a bad back. He has thrown for over 605 yards this year, 8 touchdowns. And Steve Stansel, wide receiver, is not playing. He was involved in a fight last week and has to sit out the game tonight for East High. Key man, Robert Johnson, senior wide receiver, punt return, 23 receptions, 348 yards, 5 touchdowns. A big offensive line for East High. Mike Torres is 250 pounds, the left tackle. The left guard is Mike Olais, 195. Adam Aguilar is the center, 210. Dave Bunning, the right guard, 6'5", 300. Jason Hoxie, the right tackle, is 225. The tight end, Richard Gomez, 180 pounds. And we look at some of the other people that we will see. Chris Torres will play quarterback for East this evening. He is 14 of 29 this year, 236 yards and 2 touchdowns. And your running back, Jesus Manzo, with 443 yards on the ground and 4 scores. Britt Mooney, Ray Flores, and we talked about Robert Johnson. He's assisted by Dave Galindo, Leonard Hernandez, Josh Greger, and Dave Davis. Those are the guys that will do most of the work for them offensively. Leonard Lopez, Cueto, James Cannon, Ian Gallion. They are the down linemen for East defensively, with Andy Brown, Joe Hernandez, Britt Mooney, Richard Gomez, and Jack Rayleigh, your linebackers. DBs Flores, Galindo, Johnson, Torres, and Jesus Manz. A lot of guys going both ways for East High.
And both teams are going to have people going both ways. They're not very deep teams, but they have some good players in skill positions.
But James Cain was the original quarterback for South High this year. He's a sophomore. Now he's playing running back. He was injured a little bit last week, but nevertheless, he is going this evening. Mike Ford, the junior, starting at quarterback for South High. This should be his first start. Joe Kim, a junior running back. On offense, South High has 6 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 3 seniors. On defense, 8 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 1 senior. A lot of guys going both ways. You look at Herman Varela, the left tackle, number 75. He's 235. Jim Martino, the left guard, 215. The center, Tyler Flynn, is 190 pounds. The right guard, Brody Breacher, is 215. The right tackle, Colin Chills, is 220. And your tight end, Anthony Ruiz, is 215, with Larry Curvin and Jess Satino, the wide receivers, 150, 170 pounds. And on defense, you have Rufus, 185 on the down line. Anthony Ball, 165. You have Dave Sanchez, 165. Beck Moore, Anthony Ruiz, a 2-way starter. Cornerbacks, Johnson, Gerald Johnson, 150, and Lafayette Webster, Ernesto Elias, Frank Martinez, etc. As we have the kickoff, comes to East High. Get across the 30 to the 35-yard line. East High in red and white, and South in their traditional blue from Rebel Stadium. But South has to get off to a very good start tonight, being 0-6 coming in. And as you mentioned, they have played well through at least a half or partway through the third quarter, but then they have kind of succumbed after that, probably due to the fatigue and the fact that they're a young team, and when they get down in the ball game, they tend to not play quite as hard.
And that's what I would say, too, is that you got a young team, they're going both ways, so they're getting a little fatigued and they're inexperienced.
First down for the Blades. Number 6, the running back, has some good room. First down to the 40, midfield 50. They chase him down the sidelines, tries to cut back, and driven out of bounds by Holster Rebels. Number 6 for East High, Jermaine Allen. That is Britt Mooney, pardon me. He had 110 yards rushing coming into the game, picked up a bundle that time. Britt Mooney, number 6.
Yeah, Britt Mooney just came out there on the outside, and here he is in the open field. He's going to get a good block from Johnson. Now he's going to the sideline. And right now the Rebel defensive back's taking a good angle to cut him off. And that's a big gain. That's not the kind of play that South wanted to see East start off with.
No way. 1st and 10 for the Blades. Left hash mark. Long count. Might be too much time against East High.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a movement on the outside receiver out there, taking off a little early.
Chris Torres, the quarterback for East High, number 14. Got a motion penalty against East High. The ball back at the 40-yard line of South High at its 1st and 15. You know, coming into the game, South defensively had allowed 1,821 yards, 1,500 plus on the ground, 305 through the air. Wow. They've been a little porous defensively. Movement against East High on the left side. So that should cost them another 5.
We talked about this every week, Mark. Penalties can thwart drives or slow you down and put you up. Now you're talking about losing 10 yards, so now it's 1st and 20.
Amazing. East High 4-2 this year. 1-0 in the Southeast Yosemite League. South 0-6. This is a non-league game, but very important for both teams, especially East. You take a look at seeding down the way as far as the playoffs are concerned. And records are very important. Torres play action, rolling to his right. Looking downfield, plenty of time. The pass is almost picked off. Number 21, Jason Rufus.
And that was a great play on Rufus. And that's what you want your defensive backs to do. When that ball's there, you want him to close down and cut the angle off. And he almost picked it and had a lot of room to run if he got it. Here he is cutting through right there on Johnson.
Intended for Robert Johnson, number 24, the go-to guy for East High.
And that's a good play by Rufus.
Well, they had a 1st and 10 deep in South High territory. Now they have 2nd and 20. East High does. 2 receivers to this side. Johnson wide left. Torres from the shotgun. 2nd and 20 for the Blades. Looking right, now looking left. For Johnson, the pass complete. Hit hard. Forward progress to about the 35, 36-yard line from number 24, about 5'11", 160.
And he's going to get the ball a lot when they're passing. He's the guy to go to. He's going to make some big plays. But right now, Rufus is stepping up to the challenge. The ball, good pass route, good catch. But Rufus, he's only an 8-yard gain. He closes fast and knocks him down.
They call 3rd and 12, 10-14 to play in the first quarter. East High and South High territory at the 37-yard line. 2 receivers to this side. Johnson wide left. Torres, the shotgun rolls to his left on a heavy rush. He will run it and thrown out of bounds. He might get back to the line of scrimmage or a loss of a half-yard. Great coverage downfield for the Rebels.
And Mark, that's a perfect example about penalties. The 2 penalties put you at 1st and 20. You got 8 yards in the pass. You'd have been at 3rd and 2. Now you're 3rd and long. And 3rd and long is hard to make, whether it's the NFL, college, high school. Those are just hard. JC, they're hard downs to get because the defensive lineman can fire off now and come after you. And the secondary doesn't have room to cover you, so there's not a lot of threat.
4th and 12 for East, and it looked like they were going for it. Again, South territory to the 37-yard line. Once again, they flank out 2 receivers wide to the right. Torres looking in that direction. Throws it over the middle. It is complete. Close to the first down. To number 22 for East High. That'd be Galindo, but he's shy of the first down.
Yeah, that was a good catch by Galindo. But again, it's 4th down. You have to get beyond the marker for the first. And it was a good effort. He got low on the ball.
You talked about that many times this year. And the thing is, he only came up shy about a yard.
About a yard.
Amazing. Galindo coming in had 15 receptions for 305 yards. Dave Galindo.
And he's also had 3 TDs, so he can make some plays.
Well, he made a fine catch there, just a little shy of the first down. South High takes over in their own territory at the 25-yard line. So looking for a little rebel yell. Pitching to the backfield to number 2. And that'd be James Kane, who started out this year as a quarterback, as a fine running back for South High, only a sophomore. One of the many sophomores that start for their team.
Yeah, and I've talked to some coaches around town, and they've said that he's a good young player and look for some exciting things out of him in his career.
We're at Rebel Stadium on the campus of South High. The Rebels and the East High Blades in a non-league game on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 52. There's Kane once again to the right side. Crosses the 30-yard line to about the 31. He stumbles down. Short gain. Now we'll call about 2nd and a long 3 or 3rd and 3 for South High. So in good position here in the first series.
Yeah, and this will be interesting if they're going to run the ball or give the new quarterback a chance to put it in the air.
South High offensively this year with 1,328 yards, 822 on the ground for the Rebels. High formation. The pitch behind Kane, goes back to get it. Cuts, has a first down and more to the 40. Continues to go, drive. First down for the Rebel running back. Looked like he was going to be clogged up in the backfield. Did a great job cutting back against the grain and gained some exceptional yardage.
And that was a real nice run by Kane there. And what I liked about it is that he caught the pitch, and then here he is. A lot of guys keep running the sideline. He cuts it upfield, and he makes the first down. He knows he has to get upfield. He didn't run all the way to the sideline, let the defense string it out. Ends up making a nice 15-yard play.
Remember, the pitch was slightly behind him, and it looked like East had good penetration in the backfield, but he made a great cutback at about the line of scrimmage, which we saw in the replay, and took it downfield. Inside trap to number 40. And it has about 5 or 7 yards into East High territory at the 47-yard line. Number 40 for the South High Rebels, Zach Moore, 175-pounder. And they're feeling pretty good, the Rebels, right now.
Yeah, and they're looking real good right now. It's a good counter play right there. He fakes the pitch and comes back underneath with the fullback, and it's a nice play.
Well, South High trying to show some different look to East High early in this game. 7:43 to play in the first quarter. 2 receivers to this side for the Rebels. Kane, the ball carry once again, powers his way for some good yardage close to the first down. On the second down play inside of the 45 of East High. Rebels are saying to East High, we are going to give you a game tonight. Don't come out flat.
Yeah, and it looked like it was going to start off like East High was going to jump on them early, but they took some penalties, and South High's defense stepped up, especially the secondary, and that's going to be a big challenge for them, and they got the ball. Now the offense is on the move.
Isn't it amazing how a couple of penalties just kind of sink your offense? East was so pumped up after that initial run, then they kind of floated out there. 3rd and short. Kane has a first down and more. 1st and 10 for the Rebels. To the East High 40, 41-yard line. Move the chains. Give the chain gang something to do.
Yeah, right now the Rebels are really blocking very well up front. They've had some penetration on that 1 3rd down play, but Kane made a move, and that's what you want your back to do. You want your back to make one guy miss. If somebody penetrates through, and that's what he's done, and right now they're on the move.
Barella, Zatino, Flynn, Beecher, Shields, and Reeves for South High up front. The pass, it is incomplete. Intended for number 3 for the Rebels. That would be Larry Curvin. Nice coverage back there for East High.
You know, and Mark, I like that call. It's a first down. People expect you to run. You throw a pass. You take a chance. Again, it goes downfield, but the pass is only thrown where the receiver can get. It's not an interception ball. And a lot of people, some people don't like that pass play, but that's a good pass play. It's a safe play.
Galindo on the coverage for East High, number 22. Ray Flores also in front. East High showing blitz. Quarterback decides to keep it. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. Fake the pitch to Kane. East High guessed right on that particular defensive play as they blitz in a proper spot. It'll be 3rd and 9 for South High. 6:09 to play in the first quarter. Rebels and the Blades. It's a long time rivalry.
Oh,
from
yeah.
the old South Yosemite League days.
Yep.
Definitely.
And expect forward to see some pressure on this play.
Oh, quarterback hit from behind, fumbles the ball. A man scramble, a flag is down. East High says they have it. But there was a flag down at the 42-yard line. Whew. Put a lot of pressure on Mike Ford, the quarterback for South High. He was hit from the backside and coughed it up.
And right now they're talking about the call right now. There's a flag on the play.
East High likes it. It's personal foul against South High. Declined by the Blades.
First down, and here it is. You're going to see Forston get some pressure. He's a new quarterback, so you know they're going to come out on there's the pressure at 45. then they go and pick it up, and East High's ball.
Andy Brown with the pressure, number 45. For East High, number 45, Andy Brown. Made that hit on the quarterback. East High takes over at their own 45-yard line after the personal foul. Had a strong run up the middle and close to a first down for the Blades, as they're pumped up and picked up after that PF against South High. So far the team's going back and forth early on this game as far as emotions. At 5:30 to play in the first quarter.
And a turnover. We talked about turnovers and penalties. Here's a turnover. Let's see if East High can capitalize. But I expect East to run behind the big line right now.
Glendale and Johnson to this side. Ball middle for Torres and company. Manzo the ball carrier, has a first down and more down the left sidelines, inside the 20 to about the 19, driven out of bounds. Number 32, Jesus Manzo. 443 yards coming in with a fine run that time, breaking it out to the left side. Now it goes to the sideline.
Appears to be a little shaken up. But here's a perfect look at it coming into your home. Got him cut up the middle. He's breaking to the left. Now he's going to try to make a foot race, and the Rebels cover him. That's an example of the offensive line really come off the ball.
He's holding his shoulder. Manzo, as it goes off the field. He's 5'6", about 160, but low to the ground. Got a ball given to number 6 for East High, Britt Mooney. And he powers his way for good yardage close to the 10-yard line in South High territory. Mooney had that long run early in the ball game. The South High band tonight has brand new uniforms that they are showcasing for Time Warner Cable. Exclusively for CNNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 52. They want to be on the highlight show, the national highlight show. Second and about 3 for East High. Two receivers wide to the right. Torres looking in that direction. Plenty of time now. Crush out of the pocket, goes back to the left. Here's a pressure from the Rebels. What a great block in the backfield. He is hit and dropped. He's dropped at about the 20-yard line. I think he held the ball a little bit too long on that particular play.
And that's a great coverage sack for the secondary. Quarterback has that much time and can't find anybody. That means your secondary is covering the receivers and there's nowhere to go, and then the defensive linemen keep pursuit and they get a sack.
The secondary blanketed the receivers. 3rd and 11. They lost about 7 yards that time. East High. 3:25 to play in the first quarter. No score between the Blades and the Rebels.
And look for Johnson across the middle.
They run it to Mooney. Wide open to the 10-5. Touchdown! They fooled everybody! My. What an opening for Britt Mooney. I wonder if that touchdown for the Blades. That middle was wide open. 6-0 East High.
Yeah, I think East High tonight is going to have an advantage running the ball because of the size of the line. You can see when on the running plays, their linemen are getting 2 and 3 yards down. There's a lot of room for the Blade running backs to run.
Kicker is Chris White. His PAT is up, and it is good. Chris White, number 10 for East High, 7-0. And the one by Mooney for the touchdown. Great blocking and/or great misdirection and execution by East High.
And here's just a straight power, and he gets it, and he gets touched by one man, and that's it. And it's an easy running game.
Yes, what you'd call an easy touchdown run. Mooney adding to his totals this year with 110 coming in. He's had a fine first quarter, 3:17 on the clock. 7-0 East High over the Rebels. And the Rebels have to hang in there emotionally in this ball game. They're 0-6. They've been used to losing this year. They're a young team, and they have to find a way to just display a lot of character and hang tough against the East High team. But like you said, turnovers are so important.
Yeah.
They had a personal foul penalty, which really hurt them. They were moving the ball.
You know, they had a turnover. It was only a short field. They only had about 45, 50 yards to go. And anytime you have a short field, you know, good things can only happen for your offense. A field goal or a touchdown.
Remember the BC game against LA Harbor that we did? BC started almost every drive at the Harbor 40, 45-yard line into 35. Had a long punt return for a touchdown, another punt return for 30 yards. Harbor's in their backside the entire game.
And that's why field position for coaches is so important. A lot of fans don't realize the importance of field position, but coaches know that the game is about field position. You want to keep your opponent pinned in, so you keep having a short field. They know eventually you'll be able to score.
Plus, besides that, Harbor has a very poor punting game, which did not get them out of their hole.
That doesn't help you.
Has a kickoff. He's kind of leading 7-0 over South High. Kane to a 20-yard line, hit and dropped by about 2 blades at that spot. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rebels at their own 20. 3:11 to play, first quarter, 7-0 East High. East coming into the game with a record of 4 wins and 2 losses, and South High 0-6. This is a non-league game. South competes in the Southwest Yosemite League, and East in the Southeast Yosemite League. Even though I think the South should be in the SEYL. But they're waiting for Liberty to come into the league in a couple of years, so the Rebels with another series. The last one ended on a personal foul penalty. Kane makes some nice moves around the line of scrimmage. Gets 5 and more, maybe 7 yards. He's thrown down by Robert Johnson, a wide receiver.
Yeah, there's Kane again. He's been running good in the second series. He's running good still. He's making some nice moves inside on the hole. He's on the cutback, makes 2 guys miss. He runs through another. And he just fights. And here's Robert Johnson, a good 2-way player, making the tackle.
Kane's a good player, just needs some help from his South High teammates tonight. Very difficult to do it all yourself in football. Pitch back to Kane. Tries to cut it back against the grain and thrown down. Great penetration by East High in that run. And he will lose some yardage. It was 2nd and short. It'll be 3rd and longer. And I'll tell you what, I think that Mr. Kane is going to get a lot of carries tonight against the Blades.
Yeah, this is a tough position for forward to come into. You haven't had a chance to really play this year. It's 3rd down and 4 or 5, and it's going to take a lot out of a player who hasn't seen the pressure coming in. So whether they pass him on this down will be interesting.
Remember, Ford was hit from the backside last time they had a ball. And Kane has stopped for maybe a yard loss. And now there's a late flag. Players in each team exchanging unpleasantries. Personal foul penalty after the nice hit by East High. Would have been 4th and about 5 coming up for South High. Now, who was the PF against? Was it against East High?
I can't figure it out yet. They didn't point one way or the other.
If it is, that's definitely a silly foul.
First down.
They stopped South. Would have been 4th and 7. There was some celebration and talking after the play. So instead of getting the ball back, it is 1st and 10 for South High.
And giving the Rebels a chance. And with a team that's young and not maybe as big and plays a lot of guys, you don't want to give them a chance to feel they're going to be in the game.
Well, that's a nice, pleasant gift that East High has given to South High. And the Rebels have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. James Kane up the middle for about 2 or 3 yards, up to the 42.
There you go. That's how they got a penalty last time, raising their hands up and extra celebration. You saw one of his teammates knock his hands down.
That was James Cannon, number 55 for the Blades. And at any rate, 2nd and 8 for the Rebels, 1:07 to play in the first quarter. The Rebels are trying to show East High they can play with them. Taking a lot of time to get this play off. Hopefully they won't be called for a delay of game. Kim and Kane in the backfield for the Rebels. Receiver sweet side, pitch back behind Kane, fumbled. And I think East High has it. I don't know if it was actually thrown behind him or he fumbled it, but it was not a well-executed play. And the turnover goes to East High. They have the ball deep in Rebel territory at the 35-yard line.
And here we go against another turnover, another short field. They have about 35 yards to go for a touchdown. Not too many yards, probably 10, 15 yards to get in for field goal position. Here's the pitch. And it's hard for us to see it on that angle, but look, it's a little bit behind, and now the mad scramble.
Well, East have given South a break. And then South High gives right back. Mooney breaking tackles, right and left to the 25 to the 20-yard line. Mooney having a great first quarter. He's to the South High 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for East High. 38 seconds to play here in the first quarter. And the Blades want more.
That's what you exactly want to do when you get a turnover. You want to come in and attack the team. Here's Mooney right here, running through. Rufus is holding on to him and gets him down to ground.
Torres, the quarterback. Manzo up to the left side to about the 16-yard line off that big offensive line for the Blades. And that should be the final play of the first quarter with East High leading 7-0, looking for more.
And Mark, I think that's what the Blades should do tonight is use the big line. You have a smaller defensive line at South and just try to wear them down and keep pushing it, because every time they run the ball, they've had big holes opened up for the running backs.
And you're watching the Prep Football Game of the Week right here on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 52.
Oh, no. No. What are you doing? Give me the bat. Stance is all wrong. Check this out. Come to Papa.
The Saturn wagon, with easy-to-maintain, dent-resistant doors.
Woo. Good pitch. I'll see you guys later.
I'm Ray Mish, and I know grief comes in many forms. Over the past 40 years, the Mish family has given compassionate, understanding services to thousands of grieving families. The Mish family can provide all needs regardless of your traditions. It may be traditional funeral services or cremation, even counseling for pre-arranged funeral plans. We have 2 locations in Oildale and the Southwest just to help you, and that makes a whole lot of difference.
Yeah, 7-0 East High as we begin a second quarter of action from Rebel Stadium on the campus of South High. East trying to take advantage of another turnover. There is the reverse to Robert Johnson. He's going to go untouched down the left sidelines for a touchdown for East High. The entire South defense went left. Johnson was coming the other way in the reverse.
And that's a great call. You can run the ball at will. You have him flowing to your running back. They hand off. Quarterback's leading like a convoy out there. He just walked in. Good execution by the Blades on that play.
They fooled the entire South High defense. 13-0 East High as White tries for a second consecutive PAT. One after touchdown. The kick is definitely high enough, and it is good. 14-0 Blades over the Rebels. I saw that play coming, but I have a different vantage point than the South High defense. Robert Johnson, Britt Mooney scoring both TDs for East. Almost untouchable touchdowns.
Yeah, and that last one was set up again by Mooney's really has good run quarter. He was ripping off 30 yards and 15 yards. So, you know, he's really set up that play. And it was a good job. The coach is also getting Johnson involved in the game.
And Robert is definitely getting involved in the game, making some tackles on defense, and with a reverse for the score that time. Had too much speed for the South High defense, who could not react to that particular play. So the Rebels down already 14-0 with 11:54 to play in the second quarter. They've been able to move the ball a little bit tonight, but they've had a couple of penalties and some turnovers, which are going to kill any drive for any team, actually.
Yeah, and like we said, they've given East really a short field to play with. I mean, East has had the ball on 35 and around the 40 45, so both times. So that short field is really hard for a team to play defense.
Make that too easy for the Blades. Make them work. And remember, East High had given South a chance, and South did not take advantage of it. Number 14 with the run back for South High, goes to the outside and drops inside the 20-yard line. Lafayette Webster. He tried to do it on his own, didn't have much blocking in front of him. So South High down 14-0. Starts this drive inside the 20 at the 18. Ford is a quarterback, number 12 for the Rebels. His main running back is Kane. You know, trying to keep it simple for Ford tonight, since this is his first start. He was hit from behind and fumbled early in the game. Then he made a bad pitch to Kane, which was fumbled. East fell on it. That kind of led to the last touchdown. South High about 5 yards on first down. It is 2nd and 5 for the Rebels as they try to establish something here in the second quarter.
And that was a good run by Kim right there on the dive. He fought through a couple of tackles and picked up 5 for the Rebels.
Joe Kim, number 44. Fullback for South High. Kane, the tailback. And number 40, the ball carrier for South High, the very short gain, Zach Moore. That's the second carry tonight as he leaves for that particular play. Already we have 3rd and 4. Here comes Kim back to the game. Kim and Moore switching back and forth tonight. So down by 14, South has it 3rd and 5 at their own 24-yard line. 2 receivers wide to the left.
And right now, East defense is just coming.
Ford rolling to his right under heavy pressure, and he's thrown down. Nobody to throw it to. Britt Mooney with the tackle for East High, doing it all tonight.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about earlier. When he drops back, East High is bringing the linebackers almost to the line of scrimmage, and they're coming. And that was a good play by Mooney. He chased him down, threw him down for the sack.
So it's punt time for South High. Number 32 doing honors, David Sanchez for the Rebels. He'll be punting from his own end zone, 2 or 3 yards deep in his end zone. Bad snap, gets it off. It's a line drive. Johnson with a catch at the 42, looking to the right, and for some blocks, has some running room 30-yard line to the 25, gets another block, cuts back at the 20 down the sidelines and goes down. He's inside the 15-yard line. Robert Johnson, East High knocking on the door once again, and they're going to try to kick it in, bash it in.
And that's what they're doing. I mean, right now it's a dangerous situation for South. You're punting to a guy who you know can take it back on you. It's going to have a good position. Here he is. He gets to the wall. He gets a couple blocks. Right now he has a couple men to beat. He makes a little hesitation and picks up a few more yards. Good punt return.
Well, the last time East High had the ball, it was a 35-yard drive, and the Blades guilty of another personal foul penalty. So that has been a somewhat negative fact of their game tonight. They've had a couple of personal foul penalties, despite the fact they had 14-0.
And even with the penalty mark, they still have a short field. They have 30 yards to go, and we see on the extra point conversions that the kicker can kick the ball far, at least 30, 40 yards. So they only have to get about 10 yards to be in field goal range.
Galindo and Johnson wide to the right, but you have to eliminate those personal foul penalties when you're playing a top-notch team later in the year, especially in the playoffs, because those kind of things will kill you. Long count for Torres. Pitch back to Manzo. Plenty of room in front of him to the 25-20, inside the 20 to about the 18. South High really backing up on defense and not attacking the East High offensive line or their backs.
And South's defense right now has been on the field for quite a while. with the exception of the first series, the Rebels offense really hasn't had many opportunities to get some first downs and get the defense a rest.
8 juniors, 2 sophomores, and a seniors on South High's defense. A very young team they are learning this year. Pitch back to Manson once again. Now he breaks to the outside. Has 5-yard line. Throw down after about a 5-yard gain or so. He's outside the 10-yard line. The South High came up very well in that particular defensive play. I thought that Jesus had a chance to gain more. Nevertheless, about 2nd and 4 for East High with 8:52 to play in the first half.
And I like what East High is doing right now. They're keeping the ball on the ground. They're letting their big offensive line just dictate the game.
Manza goes out for this play. Replacing him, number 4, Ray Flores. Flores and Mooney back there behind Torres. 2nd and 5. Torres looking to the right. The pass over the middle. It is caught. Touchdown for East High. Then a personal foul penalty. The pass caught by Robert Johnson. I don't know if it's interference against South High or what they're going to call it. Yeah, pass interference against the Rebels. Decline. Touchdown, East High. Is that Galindo with the catch?
That's Galindo on a little
22?
post route. That was a nice pass. That's right on the money. Good timing route.
And White will try for a 3rd consecutive PAT tonight. For East High at 20-0 right now. 8-2-4 to play in the 2nd quarter. East High has primarily been running the football tonight. They passed it here and there to keep South High honest. That was a nice throw by Torres. And a fine catch. The ball is up and it is good. Nice high kicking by White. Does a good job for East High. Now we'll look at a replay. East High leading 21-0 over South High at Rebel Stadium on the campus of South High. There's Torres back to pass.
Dropping back and he throws it. And there's on the post and good concentration. Pass interference and he still catches the ball. Great play by Galindo.
You're right, it is Dave Galindo. I want to give credit to Robert Johnson. He makes a lot of great catches, but as you said, Galindo has had some receptions this year and has had a few nice catches tonight. One's 22, the other's 24. They both play on defense too. Key ingredients in East High's success this year, both of them. Dave Galindo with a touchdown reception for East High, 21-0. Now East High is looking blowout. South High is looking to stay in the ball game.
Right now, South's offense has to pick up a few first downs and just get the ball moving to keep the defense off the field so the guys don't get too tired.
Remember, the other score was came off a 35-yard drive after the turnover against South High. This one on a long punt return by Robert Johnson. He took it to the 15-yard line, was driven back, but still, once again, they were deep in South High territory. A very, very short field for the Blades to work with tonight. The ball comes to Kane. 20-yard line, and thrown down to the 23-yard line. East High using a very short field tonight, and South has had to go the distance. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rebels at their own 23-yard line in their own territory as they move left to right across your TV dial. East in the other direction. 8:18 to play in the first half. Plenty of time for the Rebels to mount a drive. But they have to maintain control of the ball and keep the football away from East High. Kane, the single running back, has the ball on the pitch. There's a cutback. Flag is down. It gets across the 25 to about the 26-yard line.
And that kind of flag is usually in the holding area. Oh.
The penalty against South High. And things are not getting any better for the Rebels, down by 21 points. To East High on their home field. Talked about the fact that South High is a young team, but their players are getting plenty of experience this year. predominantly junior team with some sophomores and seniors playing. Like I had mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, in the midway through the first quarter, what they have to do now is try to develop some character. They're down by a lot in the first quarter. They have to see how badly they want to compete in this ball game. Ford's pass knocked down. Intended for number 3, that was Larry Curvin. And East High was all over his face.
Yeah, this is a tough situation for Ford to be in. You haven't played all year. You're getting a chance to play now. Your team's down 21-0. They know you're a new quarterback. They're going to walk the linebackers up and they're going to go after him. So it's going to be real hard for me to get the ball off that we just seen. You know, maybe they might be able to catch him on a quick draw play.
Take away from that
and then come
pass rush.
Take away from the pass rush, or just try to complete some real quick patterns.
It's second and long for the Rebels. 7:53 to play here in the first half. And the officials are talking over some things down there on the field. I don't know what's happening out there. Second and long, second and 25 for the Rebels, down 21-0. East High is teeing off on 4, the quarterback for South High.
Look how close the linebackers are on the line of scrimmage.
No kidding. Receivers to each side. And he fumbles the snap. It's hit and dropped in the backfield.
And right now, East High's defensive line and linebacker, they're just getting off the ball. I mean, they're getting to him before he even gets out. And here he is taking the snap. This really ball pops up on him, comes through. And there he is. He catches it, he saves it, and then he's tackled for a loss. And there it is.
It's third and even longer for South High.
They've had problems on pitching the ball and handling the ball on this kind of plays.
Nathan Rose, number 73, is 6'6", 290 for East High. As Kane, able to dance out of the backfield, gains a couple of yards across the 10-yard line. But it is punting time for the Rebels. And East High has a chance at some excellent field position once again with Robert Johnson back deep. They returned a punt to the 15-yard line before it was driven back by a penalty, but nevertheless, East High scored their third touchdown right after that punt return.
And Mark, look for them to set the return to the sideline up again for them. And again, they're going to get good field position even if Fair catches the ball.
High punt, but very short. Johnson will let it drop and takes a South High roll. Robert gets away from it. It'll still be in South High territory, but at the 47-yard line.
And Mark, I don't know if you saw it, but Johnson didn't catch it, but the one thing he did is he waved off to other guys. And we haven't seen many backs do that.
That's right.
And that's what you're supposed to do. You see all the time.
Leadership.
You tell the guys that they can't see.
Get away from it.
So you're their vision. You tell them get away, and that's a good play by Johnson.
Instead of trying to yell to them, sometimes they won't hear you. You're showing some body language that time.
You know, that
leadership.
He's like the center fielder in baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, he calls it.
Like Bernie Williams. 6:25 to play in the first half. East High with the ball. And number 4, the ball carrier, that is Ray Flores. Short gain of maybe 2 yards for East High. It'll be 2nd and 8 for the Blades at the Rebel 46-yard line, maybe 2nd and 9. East would like to keep the ball on the ground and use up some clock, but they're not opposed to come up with a big play. They have some outstanding receivers in Galindo and Robert Johnson. They have guys that can catch the ball and take it the distance.
And that's when you love to be a quarterback. When your running game is going this well, people are keyed on the running game. You know, a lot of time to pass the ball.
High formation behind Torres. Flores with the ball and more to the 25, to the 20. Race to the end zone. He will score for East High. Ray Flores, number 4. I thought maybe he'd make about 15 yards once it got into the secondary. It was See Ya Later.
Yeah, Ray made the safety miss, and there was nobody else left, and he just outran the other player. And you saw Shields gave a great effort, but just barely couldn't get him.
The South High was very close to the line of scrimmage, all their defenders.
And Mark, that's what happens when you establish a running game. People want to stop it. They start bringing 8 and 9 men close to the line to stop you from running. And if a guy can bust through, nobody else to stop him.
And Chris White is 4 for 4 tonight. PAT is a very impressive kicker. I haven't heard about him this year, but he has a great leg. We've heard about Jared Bright.
Jared Bright.
And some other guys have struggled this year, but this guy can kick the ball.
Here's the replay. It's just a dive play, and set the lineman up. He cuts through, nice hole, not touched, makes the safety miss, and now he's off to the races. It's going to be a foot race between him and Shields, and he wins on this one.
You know, he made 2 nice cuts on that run. One after about 3 yards downfield, then another one as he got by some of the linebackers. And Ray Flores, with only 95 yards coming into the game tonight, with a long touchdown run there for East High. They're all getting to the act. It's been Mooney, Robert Johnson, Galindo, and Ray Flores. 4 different people have scored for East High tonight. It is 20-0 Blades. Wow.
And that's East High showing a lot of balance. They're showing there's different players that they have that can make plays for you. And that's going to be an asset to them as they go along in the season and get ready towards the playoffs.
East High very impressive tonight. Leading South by the score of 20-0. And they are showing a lot of versatility. You have to remember their #1 quarterback is hurt. He's not even playing. And he passes the ball more than Torres. But Torres has done a good job controlling the offense.
Yeah,
they have the people around him, too.
Yes.
You have a big offensive line. You have some talented wide receivers and running backs. Got a good defense. I saw East High against Highland last year when we did the game for Time Warner, and that was a defensive struggle. But this year's East High team, to me, has more offensive capabilities than last year's club. They're a program on the rise. They're trying to get back there.
Yeah. And right there, we just seen Kane right now make a good recovery, like a shortstop, really, on a low dribbling punt. I mean, kickoff, I'm sorry.
Oh, the Rebels with the ball inside their 25-yard line. They are down 20-0 to East High in the first half at Rebel Stadium. So it is definitely gut check time for the Rebels. Pitch back to Kane. Strung out very well by Johnson and company on the East High defense. But they bring him down across the 25-yard line. Maybe he doesn't even reach that far. So the Blake defense just waiting for Mr. Kane. They pretty much know who's going to get the ball in the South High backfield.
Yeah, and on the sweeps are just like for East High's defense and their penetration, be like a pass play. The sweeps are a late developing play, and they're up 9 guys up almost on the line of scrimmage. So they're going to get penetration, and that's going to be a hard play for them to get.
Well, as you know, Brian, South High has a very proud football tradition. They've been in a few skirmishes with BHS in the past. 2nd and 10, Kane. Nice move to the line of scrimmage, then hit and dropped after a gain of about 4 yards. Look at about 3 Blades combining on the tackle. 3 of them.
And that was a good defensive play right there by the linebackers. They come in, converge, and make a nice tackle.
But Torres, number 14, also playing defense for East High. And number 41, Joe Hernandez, combining on the tackle. He's 205. Andy Brown, Joe Hernandez, Britt Mooney, Richard Gomez, the backers for East High, Lopez, Cueto, Cannon, and Gallion, the down lineman for the Blades. 3rd down and 9 for South. East High showing blitz. It's going to be a pass play. Wide open number 10 for South High for the first down. Jesse Zatino, halfback option play, and it works for the Rebels.
And that's a good call. They've been getting penetration on your straight drop back. You run a sweep, you've had some success, you stop and throw it, and good play. One of the few first downs South has had tonight. There he is, and Kane, ex-quarterback, throws it out there. Gets the catch, had a guy turn around, he makes a nice job adjusting, catching the ball, pick up the first down.
Well, got it out there 1st and 10 for South High as they go to the back of Tricks at midfield. Kane spins, keeps on driving. Go, go, go. Look at that run. He picks up a first down, or very close to it. James Kane showing a lot of desire for the Rebels.
And Kane is running like that all night long. Even on the plays where he should be stopped in the backfield, he's got back to the line of scrimmage, he's running tough. And he's running like we've seen so many backs do this year, just constantly turn those legs
They
and
bust up
running
to the
hard.
line, and he hasn't quit. He's going to play hard the entire game. That was a tremendous run as far as effort is concerned. They sort of look like maybe about a 5-yard gain to possibly a 10-yard run. They might measure it. But what drive he had. You see a lot of guys when they're down 20-0, they won't run quite as hard. But he put a lot of effort into that one. As the chain gang comes up there. There ain't nothing like the chain gang.
How do you say?
First down for the Rebels.
And a 10-yard run, so that was a great run.
Pardon my English.
That was a great run.
Reminded me of Andrew Stubbe, who ran for Centennial a couple of years ago. He's a guy that's refused to give up. He had a lot of runs like that during his senior year at Centennial. Did not have great speed, very difficult to tackle downfield, but he just never gave up. Tremendous leg drive. Kane this time, look at him getting the other extra 1 or 2 yards. There really wasn't much there. Did he make something out of nothing?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Kane tonight. He showed a lot of desire, and that's what playing football comes down to.
This guy's only a sophomore.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
Yeah, so, the South High coaching staff should have something to look forward to. This year hasn't been the kind of year any coach or any team wants to have, but they're fighting in the game. They're down 20-0, and you don't see them quitting. That's the positive thing you can take from them.
You talk about the athletic ability of King. Remember, as you mentioned, he was the starting quarterback, and look at how well he runs the football. And now fumble in the backfield, and Ford could not come up with it. That is his second fumble back there, and he's had a bad pick, so another drive comes up empty for the Rebels. And frustration wearing on the faces of a lot of the South High players, including Kane as he comes off the field.
Mark, when you're that quarterback, you got to stay in and make sure you get your hands on the ball and receive the ball and stay there. Looks like he's been pulling out a little bit early in the ball, shooting up into his chest area and bouncing away from him.
Someone thinking about that defensive pressure of the East High down lineman.
Yeah.
That's really too bad because South High's had a couple of good drives going tonight.
There's another reverse.
Another reverse to Robert Johnson, left to right side. Has some blocking, now cuts back to the 40-yard line, 45, and driven down. South High did a much better job of containing this reverse by Robert Johnson in East High.
Yeah, in this reverse, we didn't see the whole South High team pursue the running back. They stayed home. And that shows good coaching discipline on the sideline that you talked about it. Stay at home, be patient, and they did, and they made a play.
This attempted reverse was telegraphed more than the other one. The other one totally fooled the team. Second and a long 5 for East High. 2:05 to play in the first half. 28-0 Blades over the Rebels. The Rebels have moved the ball somewhat, but turnovers have killed them. Pitch back to Manzo. Hit hard, breaks that tackle. It's also the first down marker. At about the 49-yard line in South High territory. Depends where they mark the football. The East Side looking for more with 1:47 to play here in the first half. And the wind all of a sudden has come up.
Yeah, wind has picked up a little bit. Wasn't expecting it, but now we have it.
They're going to have another measurement, it looks like. Is this the third measurement of the game? The chain gang getting a lot of TV time. And they're not wearing their suits.
And first down, East High.
First down. Set of Blades inside South territory at the 49-yard line. And the clock running at 1:40 to play in the first half. East High in no hurry for the 4-touchdown lead over South High. Robert Johnson and Galindo wide to the right. Their primary receivers. Mooney, Manzo in the backfield behind Torres. Torres looking over the defense. Looking right, rolling to that side. Cuts inside a rusher. Midfield 50, fumbles the ball. South High has it. The Rebels, number 34.
Jerry Johnson.
All right. Johnson falling on the football.
And here it is. Here comes a hit from the back. Ball comes out. And there's Johnson jumping on the ball. Good play.
Did a good job not trying to pick it up but falling on it.
And we have an injury.
A safe play.
We have an injury on the field, 40 for South High.
It'll be Zach Moore. Number 40, Zach Moore for the Rebels. Good play by Johnson to fall on that football and stop that drive by East High. 1:19 to play, first half. It is 28-0 East over South. This is Prep Football on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 52.
I'm Ray Mish, and I know grief comes in many forms. Over the past 40 years, the Mish family has given compassionate, understanding services to thousands of grieving families. The Mish family can provide all needs regardless of your traditions. It may be traditional funeral services or cremation, even counseling for pre-arranged funeral plans. We have 2 locations in Oildale and the Southwest just to help you, and that makes a whole lot of difference.
I'm sitting across from a person who's getting ready to write a large sum of money for an automobile, and I've purchased vehicles before, and I know exactly what they're going through. It can be nerve-wracking. The no hassle, no haggle price allows Saturn to be so much at ease with the customer and allows us to treat everyone so fair. It really doesn't matter whether you do a short-term lease, a long-term lease, short-term financing, long-term financing, or cash. Once you're in the Saturn family, you're in the Saturn family. I am going to see this person again. You see them at the supermarket, you see them in a restaurant, so we want to make sure they are completely comfortable with the entire process.
.07 to play in the first half. It is 28-0 East High over South High. Steve Napier's Publican very good against Steve Fox Rebels. The Rebels were 0-6 coming into the game tonight, struggling. They have moved the ball somewhat, but turnovers have really killed them, plus some key penalties. East High really just having too much diversity on both sides of the ball for South High. James Kane gets maybe 1 yard off the right side. That guy plays at the 120% level every play.
Yeah, and he just like an Energizer bunny, just keeps going and going and going. And as a football fan, high school football fan, you gotta love watching a kid like that. And Zach Moore's back in the game, so he got up off the field, so apparently he's okay, and that's good to know.
Good deal. Third down for the Rebels as they go to the sideline and talk things over with their coaching staff. The assistants for the Rebels, Dirk Majunkin, who was a head coach at West High one time. Kerry Mills, Deion Martin, Tony Varela, and Tim Dominguez. Kerry Mills, I guess, or Millis for South High. Napier taking over the club when Rick Van Horn went to Liberty, and kind of continuing that transformation of the East High football program.
Yeah, and that's got to be good for the East High school to feel proud about that they lost a good coach like Coach Van Horn, but Napier steps up and keeps the program rolling, and he has a fine ball club.
And Napier was a baseball coach. He has given that up. Of course, his dad was Walt Napier, a fine, longtime baseball coach at East High, whom they have named the field after. Third and long for the Rebels. Ford looking over the defense. Zach Moore in the slot left. Flips it downfield, incomplete. Nice coverage by number 4, Ray Flores of East High. And a ball intended for number 3, Curvin.
Yeah, Ray Flores did a nice job of turning and really running the receiver out of real estate. The receiver had not much room. He didn't have much room to even catch the ball, had the ball even thrown over the top. So that was a great play by Flores.
55 seconds to play in the second quarter. East High 28, South High nothing. And the Rebels punting once again. Robert Johnson deep for East High at his own 27-yard line. Looking for another punt return. This one's almost blocked. It is short. Johnson says, get away from it. It takes a South High roll. It'll be down to the 21-yard line, East High territory. So the Blaze have a chance and opportunity at another couple of plays before the conclusion of the second quarter, with a monumental lead of 28-0.
And in that last series when they got the fumble, The safety was up real tight to the line for South, so we just see if he backs off this time, knowing you only have 44 seconds to play.
Yeah, give him something underneath. But Mooney, number 6, leads the field for East High. You have 3 receivers wide to the right. Man's of the single running back. Torres to throw. Lofts it out. Complete. And a hard hit. Number 12 for East High.
They line up quick right here.
Line up very quick. 25 seconds to play. Torres looking in this direction. 3 receivers over there. The pass is picked off by number 1 for South High, Anthony Ball. As he stepped in front of the receiver. Why is East High throwing the ball in their own territory late in the first half with a 4-touchdown lead?
And it looked like East was trying to run their version of a 2-minute drill with 44 seconds left. Put the ball in the air, and interception. And now South has a chance to try and throw for the end zone one time.
I don't mind throwing it downfield because the interception is as good
as a punt.
As a punt, basically. Yeah. But this play, somewhat of a dangerous pass with that looking pattern. And a ball thrown to a crowd. South High with the ball at East High 37-yard line. Maybe they'll try to fling out to the end zone with 14 seconds left on the clock.
I mean, they should try a sweep pass again.
Why doesn't South try a hook and lateral?
Because it's been really hard for them to get back. Yeah. Ford, in all honesty, when he's getting back, the guys are right in his face immediately. He really had time to set up and throw the ball. And the one play you did have success with is you get the ball to the
I wish that South High could get James Kane deep into the secondary or in the where the linebackers are, get him some running room. And have him do his thing. And
Kane's a dangerous runner too, so if you do a pitch pass with him, he can run the ball or throw it.
He needs a little bit more help to make his game more effective.
Yeah, because Ford just hadn't had any time at all tonight. Right. With the way East High has just pinned their ears back and coming.
Well, first down for the Rebels at the East High 37-yard line. Kim and King are the running backs for the Rebels. Behind Ford. Quick drop back, the pass over the middle, complete. Number 3, Curvin, goes down to the 39-yard line. Maybe a personal foul against East. Possible face masking penalty against the Blades. They tackle him up high. He is very close to the first down marker, and then of course a PF against East High. Gives some real estate to South High. 6 seconds on the clock. The Rebels will have 1 or 2 more plays before the conclusion of the second quarter. Nice pass by Ford. As they drop it at the 14-yard line in East High territory.
And with 6 seconds left, they can throw 2 passes into the end zone.
Let's throw them into the end zone. Let's go for it.
You can set the receiver out there, probably at the hash, and just try to fade one into the corner and then get another one. And now they lost 3 seconds, so they've lost the opportunity to do that twice, and now they have 1 chance.
We talked about the South High offensive team earlier today. Total offense of 1,320 yards coming in. 822 on the ground, only 506 through the air. Their offense ranked 21st in the area. Defensively, they ranked 18th, allowing almost 1,600 yards on the ground, 305 through the air, and 1,821 yards total. So it has been a tough year for South High. They're trying to get some respectability in the game now, being down 28-0. And it would do them a lot of good to score before the end of the half. Give them some confidence.
And even though they gave up the 1 touchdown to pass, on a lot of the pass plays, they've been in position to make good tackles and knock some passes down and even pick one off. So they do play the pass pretty well.
Well, they're definitely getting experience this year after losing a lot of seniors last season, a lot of quality players. Just about everybody will be back. Ford to throw, flips it high into the end zone. Great catch, but out of bounds is Larry Curvin. as he went up high for the ball, but he was beyond the end line. Almost had a highlight play on CNSI.
And that was a good chance. And those last two pass plays are the first two we really seen Ford had a chance to come back, sit up, and get rid of the ball. So the offensive line did a good job.
He almost made a Brian Adams type of reception.
I don't know if it was one of my type of receptions, but it was a good effort.
At the half, it is East High 28, South High nothing. And you are watching Prep Football exclusively on CNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 52. That is the South High Marching Band with the branding uniforms just for us on Time Warner Cable. They are debuting them tonight. Check it out.
I'm Ray Mish, and I know grief comes in many forms. Over the past 40 years, the Mish family has given compassionate, understanding services to thousands of grieving families. The Mish family can provide all needs regardless of your traditions. It may be traditional funeral services or cremation, even counseling for pre-arranged funeral plans. We have 2 locations in Oildale and the Southwest just to help you, and that makes a whole lot of difference.
I'm sitting across from a person who's getting ready to write a large sum of money for an automobile, and I've purchased vehicles before, and I know exactly what they're going through. It can be nerve-wracking. The no hassle, no haggle price allows Saturn to be so much at ease with the customer and allows us to treat everyone so fair. It really doesn't matter whether you do a short-term lease, a long-term lease, short-term financing, long-term financing, or cash. Once you're in the Saturn family, you're in the Saturn family. I am going to see this person again. You see him at the supermarket, and you see him in a restaurant, so we want to make sure they are completely comfortable with the entire process.
Now the score at the half, it is East High 28, South High nothing from Rebel Field on the campus of South High School. It has been all blaze tonight, Brian.
Oh my God.
Kickoff comes to South High's Kane. Steps to the end zone to be first and 10 for South at their own 20-yard line. Rebels down by 4 touchdowns here. Turnovers played a part. Fred Mooney had a touchdown. Robert Johnson on a reverse score for East High after a 35-yard punt return. Galindo scored on a pass reception from Torres. And Flores on a running play scored for East High. The Rebels trying to show some character here in the second half at home as they're down by 4 touchdowns to East High. 11:44 to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, and right now we have South coming out and trying to get something started and put some points on the board and get back in this game.
Well, as we talked about in the first half, South High has moved the football, but personal fouls and turnovers have definitely hurt them. Ford had 3 fumbles, which he lost in the first half. And also the fact is that East High scored some drives deep in South High territory. They really cut down that football field.
Yeah, 3 of the drives tonight were from the 30, 35, and around the 45, 50-yard line. So you don't have much room far to go to score.
So the Rebels trying to come out with a lot of enthusiasm here in the third quarter. Number 44 or more into the game for the Rebels. Number 10 wide right for South, Zutino. Made a nice catch late in the second quarter for the Rebels. Ball given to Kane, hit hard after it gains about a yard or 2 up to the 30-yard line. Number 2 for South High. I hope you enjoyed the music of the South High Rebel Band and their brand new uniforms, which they debuted for you exclusively tonight on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 52. All right. .10:20 to play. I wasn't good with book reports, though. The pass incomplete on the far side. Ford under heavy duress, and that's been a scenario for him all evening night.
Yeah, but that's been one of the few times he's been able to get the ball off under that kind of duress, and he just dumped it out there, kind of short hopped to the receiver, but didn't lose any yardage, 2nd and 10.
Well, he's throwing the football as he is dropping back. He can't even plant his foot, so plant his feet, so he's really having a tough time out there. As East High just basically getting to his face. They don't respect the South High running game. They know he has to throw the football, down by 4 touchdowns. So he's not in a good situation. 2nd and 10, pitch back to Kane, cuts back, gets away from the pressure, stays on his feet. He makes a short game very exciting as he takes it to about the 33-yard line. Just gives it his all.
Yeah, he's made the first couple of guys miss all night long, you know, but again, they have almost 8 or 9 guys on the line of scrimmage to stop the run. They know that's all South High has to be able to do, so they're going to take the run away. they're going to kind of make South step back and throw the ball.
I'll tell you, Kane's going to go somewhere during his next 2.5 years here at South High. He just needs some help and a more experienced team, which they will be next year. And they're trying to improve during the latter part of the season. There's a draw to Kane. Has the first down and more. To the 40 midfield 50. Now a cut back to about the 47-yard line. There's that draw play you were talking about in the first half.
And that's what I was talking about, because that defensive pressure is coming so hard and so consistent that the defense is coming up hard, and you just hand the ball off to the running back on a draw play. He goes underneath the blitzing linebackers and linemen, and he's up in the backfield. And he has one man to beat, and good open field tackle by Flores.
Colin Shields with a nice block, number 67 for the Rebels. He has to try to get Kane out into the open so they can go one-on-one. There's an inside play to Moore. The second time they've run that tonight. This not as successful as the previous time in the first half. 9 minutes of play in the third quarter. 28-0 in favor of East. South High moving the ball once again, but they had trouble being consistent because of their penalties and sometimes lack of concentration.
Yeah, and again, you got to avoid penalties. Penalties just kind of stall your offense. You know, when you get stalled, you have to be real good to overcome it. And even top-notch teams in college and pro don't overcome penalties.
Kervin Zatina wide left. As the ball given up the middle, again about a 1 yard or 2 for the Rebels. You know, one thing that you can say while watching South is they lack confidence. If they can get a score, it will do tremendous things for their confidence. Mental capacity to play this game.
Yeah, and that's what breeds success in any team, is they start feeling confident about themselves. You see it with the Rams. You know, last year the Rams were beat by everybody. Now this year they're winning games, and they're starting to feel that they're invincible.
Third down for the Rebels. Ford to throw, the pass complete, and then fumbled. Who has it? East High or the Rebels? Corbin with a catch, had the first down, fumbled. I believe it's the Rebels' ball. First and 10 for South. The Rebels on the move, showing something on this drive.
And here's the pass. Nice catch. He shakes a man off, and he starts to go and he loses it. Nice fall on the ground. Now the ball's on the ground. Here it is. And grabs it with one hand. There he goes. Good effort.
Larry has good hands.
And that's the second time we've seen that pass play produce yardage for him.
He was wide open. Nice tall receiver, too. Pitch back to Kane. There's a cut back. Running room to the 40. 25, 20 out of bounds. He'll be shy of the first down as he goes out of bounds, but some nifty running by Kane once again.
Yeah, and Kane's running strong all night long, we said. And right here, he's making a move. Makes a guy miss there, and he pops out. Going one-on-one with the linebacker, cornerback Flores, and knocks him out of bounds, and good pickup of 8 yards.
Brody Beecher, 66, leading the drive for South High. You saw him on your screen. It's second and short for the Rebels at the 22-yard line in East High territory. Remember, they were deep into the red zone late in the second quarter, but couldn't score. Moore hit in the backfield and drop, but he might get to the first down marker. A great second and third effort. They're going to call him just short.
And there's Andy Brown coming through, and he's done this all night. He's almost on the line of scrimmage, and he's
number
blitzing,
45.
He's blitzing the holes and making plays. He's pressuring the quarterback, and there he is making a tackle in the backfield. Stop first down. Good play.
So Brett Mooney, number 6, one of the backers. Dorian Hernandez, 41. Gomez, 44 for East High. Robert Johnson, Flores, and Galindo, the DBs. Kane has a first down and more. Look at him drive inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Kane, more Kane. First down for South.
That was a good job of South's linemen, too, getting off the ball and firing out and picking up that first down.
Tom Rodriguez, 65, making the tackle for East High. So the Rebels inside the East High 20-yard line in the red zone for the second time tonight. 6:25 to play in the third. 28-0 East, showing blitz, back off. Ford Looking toward the end zone, throws it high in the air for Curvin. He's got a touchdown, South High! Eric Curvin, 6 feet 170, going high and out fighting Galindo for the ball.
Yeah, that was a good play by Curvell there. He goes up, rips the ball out like a jump ball, and it's any man's ball, and he goes up and gets it. Touchdown South, puts him on the scoreboard, and there's the confidence boost you're talking about, Mark.
Well, Curvin caught that pass over the middle of the setup. The other first down run, has about nice height, good jumping ability, and that's a great pass play to throw to him. Let him go up the ladder. Now the PAT is up, and it is good by number 35, Kyle Zimmerman. Doing it from the left side. And look how the crowd has picked up here.
And we heard South ring their bell, and that's always feels good for the fans and the team to score a touchdown and hear the bell ring.
That's better than ringing my bell, that's for sure.
And here's the pass play. Goes up top, throws it up. He also throws it outside. There's Curvin going up, and good catch, good concentration.
So South High on the scoreboard, 28-7 East High. The Rebels have come out with a lot of fire here in the second half. And now they'll kick off to East High. Good drive by South. They finally completed a drive. They have moved the ball a little bit tonight. They've been thwarted by their own turnovers and some penalties. This time, they took it all the way.
Yes, and whatever Coach Falk said at halftime, obviously the fire in those players, and they came out here, opening kickoff, and drove down the field and scored a touchdown.
Well, he probably talked more than I did at the half. Steve Falk, the head coach of South High, and Steve Napier of East. Plays ahead by 21. Zimmerman with the kickoff. And it goes out of bounds. And hot pursuit of it, Ray Flores, number 4 for East High. So the Blades moving right to left across your TV dial against the Rebels. Rebels in that powder blue uniform and white letters. Blades red pants, white jerseys, and red lettering, white helmets. East High 4-2 coming in, South 0-6. Now the Rebels beginning to play with a lot of desire here in the second half and more confidence. It's amazing the things you can do, the things you can achieve when you believe in yourself.
Yeah, we're going to have a re-kick here. Looked like somebody was offside. A little false start by the Rebels.
And they'll be kicking from their own 35-yard line. Flores, Galindo, and Johnson back deep for East High. Robert Johnson, 24 in the middle.
We just had a picture right there. Flores' helmet had a lot of decals on it, so obviously this year he's made some plays.
The line drive kick drives Johnson to the 10-yard line, 15, 20. Looking for that opening up the middle. The 40-yard line. Stays on his feet. Close to midfield goes Robert Johnson. He makes it look so easy. He's kind of gliding out there.
And that's what we talked about in the opening. Johnson being a dynamic player. We've seen him on reverse. We've seen him catch balls. We've seen him on defense. And here he is on a kickoff return. And he takes the ball up to the 50-yard line.
They're throwing 49-yard line East High. I had 27 over South High.
Here's returns. He's up the middle and runs through Zach Moore's tackle and then picks up a couple more yards.
Johnson in motion for the Blaze. Ball given to Mooney. Dives forward for 2 or 3 yards. Inside midfield to about the 47-yard line. 5:50 to play in the third quarter. It is 27 East High over South High from Rebel Stadium on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 52. Mark Heffernan with Brian Adams. No, not the rocker. He just likes to rock and roll with football.
Well, here we go tonight. We're going to rock and roll and see if South High's defense can stop East on this play.
Second down and 5 for the Blades. Pitch back, Robert Johnson to the 40-yard line. Look at his cutback ability. 35, is he going to take it the distance? 40 to the 20, down the sidelines, the inside of the flag, touchdown Blades. What a great run and cut back by Robert Johnson.
Oh, and Robert Johnson put a little dance move out there, but he's going to get a flag for that, for celebrating the end zone. But that was a great play. It was set up the last time from the first down play. He came in motion last time and held to die. This time they ran it back the other way and pitched it to him, and he made a great cutback and then took it 50 yards.
Well, Johnson knows that you're here tonight, Brian. So he wanted to show you a little bit of his skills.
Well, he's showing some skills tonight, so he probably doesn't remember me. He's probably a young kid when I was playing, so I know he's not trying to impress me.
Now, we talked about his ability to return punts and as a receiver, but he's showing his running ability tonight.
Yeah, he's had 2 touchdowns tonight, one off the reverse and then one off the receiver being the option back.
That was a great run.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
nice cutback against the grain and showed his speed.
And it showed his vision too. I mean, to be able to see that cutback, that's just the runner's vision to be able to see.
It's sort of like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird when they played basketball years ago. They had such great court vision, as they used to talk about. He has the field vision.
You know, it's not only your peripheral vision, seeing, it's also your feel and your presence and where everybody is around you.
That was an excellent run, one of the best we've seen this year. But he makes it look so easy. That's a long PAT attempt by White, and it's good. 5 for 5 tonight, Chris White. That was about a 35-yard PAT attempt, and he busted it through.
And Mark, you said earlier he had a leg, and there he is showing it. 35 yards, it was an easy kick for him.
I really hadn't heard of him this year. He's an excellent kicker. Here we go. There's a pitch back to Johnson.
Now he cuts upfield right here, and this is where he just uses his vision, his natural ability, cuts back, and now he's going to turn on the afterburners. And it's a foot race, and right now he knows he can make it as he takes it in for the touchdown.
RJ with a couple of scores tonight for East High. Mooney has scored Galindo and Flores. East High showing a lot of weapons this evening. For a copy of tonight's game or any other local program on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 52, give us a call, 322-1941, 322-1941. Call right now. We'd love to hear from you. Barrage us with phone calls, 322-1941.
You know, Mark, that's really a backbreaker of a play right there for South High. You opening drive, you come out and you score. Then within 3 plays, East High comes back and gets a touchdown to equalize it.
I was looking at some of the South High players in the sidelines, and they were so pumped up a few moments ago, and after that touchdown, their toes kind of shrunk a little bit, 35-7. As it comes to Kane at the 5, 10-yard line, 15. Picks his way across the 20-yard line and driven down to the turf. Once again, a 4 touchdown advantage for East High. Very impressive tonight. A performance by the Blades over the Rebels, 35-7. In fact, the Blades are more impressive than I thought they would be. Had a tough victory last week, 14-13 over BHS. Remember, they lost their starting quarterback in that game, and he is not playing tonight. But they have used so many weapons this evening.
And that's the mark of a good team. We saw Stockdale High also do that, use many different weapons.
I think East High is getting better as the season is going on. Now, they're 1-0 in the Southeast Yosemite League. They have 3 games left after tonight, I believe. Those will be all league encounters. They're hoping to win the league and host a playoff game.
You know, they gave themselves a perfect opportunity by beating BHS, who many feel was the league favorite. So
that was the key for them.
In the driver's seat.
Highland, Ridgeview, and Foothill upcoming. Of course, you can't overlook those teams. We saw Ridgeview and Highland last week. They have a couple of fine running backs. But East High has more weapons than either Highland or Ridgeview.
Yeah.
Moore hit hard in the backfoot on drop. East High reminds me very much of Stockdale. Utilized a lot of different players.
A lot of different players and a lot of different sets too, and they balanced it out, going to different players at different times. We've seen, like we said, we've seen Johnson get passes. Also, he's ran the ball. We've seen multiple running backs run the ball and have success. So when a team is doing that, it's really hard for the defensive coordinator to call a game to stop it.
I don't know if Stockdale has an open field runner as good as Robert Johnson, but they have a lot of very good players. His ability to return punts and really taken the distance from anywhere on the football field. I think is a little better than anybody that they have, but Stockdale is loaded with a lot of players. Remember they played, Stockdale defeated them. Interception by the Blades on the pass over the middle at the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for East High.
And this is a situation where Ford is a young quarterback, getting his first taste, and he throws the ball into a man with 3 Blades around him, and one of the Blades comes in with the pick.
Chris Torres with the pickoff. Now, he was the quarterback who started tonight. Padilla is back in the game. We talked about him, number 1. He was in the last series for East High, and a touchdown by Robert Johnson, number 1. He has been their starting quarterback this year, and he was out with a bad back. He has thrown for quite a bit of yards this year, Padilla. 605 yards. He's the throw now, sets up. Looking for Johnson, wide open at the 10-yard line, out of bounds. Robert Johnson wide open on the right flat. East High close to another score. Padilla to Johnson as they hook up once again.
And Mark, when you have a good quarterback like Padilla who can throw the ball and a good receiver in Johnson, you just want to go out there and play catch. This is one-on-one. He's out there by himself, and he runs a good corner route, and the ball's thrown on time, and it's an easy pickup.
And Robert has 8 touchdowns receiving this year. Tonight, a couple of touchdowns, actually running the football. 3:33 left in the 3rd quarter. He's looking for more. 35-7 Blades. Johnson line up on the left side. It's 1st and goal. Pity to throw for Johnson. Wide open. Touchdown, East High. The defender fell down. Roberts, nobody near him. And another touchdown for Robert Johnson as he shakes hands with one of the officials. Good call, ref.
And that was a real nice route by Johnson that close. He ran a real crisp out route. The ball was thrown with a little zip on it. And he went out and he caught the ball with his hands, and he kept running through. A lot of guys stop on the ball, but he kept running through, followed the ball in, pulled it in. It was a great touchdown. Great catch.
So you like the routes that he runs?
I like that run. I like that corner route I've seen.
What kind of speed does he have? Do you know? What he runs a 40 in?
I'm not sure what his speed is, but he obviously can run. We've seen him outrace an angle.
He obviously knows how to get open, that's for sure, and he has great hands.
Yeah, and he's a total package for the player. You know, we're seeing he plays defense. He runs balls back on the kickoff. He's a good return man, and he's also a good receiver. So he's a nice player, and it's been a pleasure to watch tonight.
41-7 in favor of East High over South. Chris White boots it through. It's good once again. 6 for 6 tonight for Chris White of East High. 6 PATs. Wow.
And here's the play right here. Yeah, Padilla dropping back. He steps up. He fires the out. And then we're going to see Johnson catching the ball in your screen right there. Good catch.
Excellent concentration by Robert. 2 touchdowns for him and a short span here in the 3rd quarter. He has 3 tonight. It was wide open that time. 42-7, so after South High scored to close within 21, East High has bounced right back in big fashion. He seemingly can move the ball whenever they feel like it tonight.
Yeah, and it seems now that, again, it was also set by a turnover. The 3rd one we've seen was short yardage, and they had about 30 yards to go again to get punted in for a score.
Okay, East High against some of the other top teams in Bakersfield this year. They defeat BHS by 1 point last week. They lost to Stockdale and lost to Centennial. In that game against the Golden Hawks early in the year, it was close to the half, and Centennial rolled over them about 31-13, but I think East High has improved over that game. So we'll see what they do as they close out the season. With 3 games left after tonight, it looks like they have quite a few weapons to me.
Yeah, and the real thing is they showed last week they can play defense. They held Beaches to 13 points, and then, you know, it's can they score on the better teams.
Ball's kicked to James Kane as he takes into the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 for South at their own 20-yard line. Down by the score of 42-7. Still in the 3rd quarter, 3:27 left to play. Number 34 for the Rebels, Jerry Johnson, trying to exercise his legs on the sidelines. He fell on a football late there in the second quarter. Suffered some kind of a thigh bruise or cramp for the Rebels. As they come out here for another series. Well, the turnovers really hurt South tonight, but they simply can't contend with the versatility of East High. East High has a lot of weapons. Pitch back to Kane, makes something out of it. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line. He's still running at high octane, full tilt.
And obviously Kane's in real good condition because he's been running the ball tough all night long. Here he is on the sweep. He's patient, and he looks for the outside. Now he's going to turn on the juice. And he was close to having one man to beat to score. And I don't think East High would have caught him.
One thing about him, he's a football player. He shows a lot of poise, and you think he's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
He looks like he's played varsity football for a couple of years.
Yeah, he's sending a message to other teams in the league that he wants to be a force locally.
Got a good sense of what's going on. The pitch back to Kane, left side. Cuts inside, has a first down and more. Flag is down to midfield 50. Right to the sidelines, to the 30, 20-yard line. Looking for the cut back, 10. And Kane goes the distance, but will it count for the Rebels?
Might be a flag on.
Will there be a Rebel yell? Or am I the only guy who's yelling?
And that was a great run, whether it's a hold or a clip or anything. That was a great run because, again, he made the first man who broke through miss. And he's in it all night, and then he just uses speed and blasted through. But it's gonna come back, and that's going to negate a beautiful run.
Nothing like going 75 yards and having a call back. That is really devastating. Besides the fact it takes the yards away from you, but when you make a great play like that, and it's called back, that's rough. As Robert Johnson gives him a shake of the hand.
And here's the play right here. He makes a move on Robert Johnson, and then he goes out there. Now it's off to the races. And there he is running in, and Curvin comes in and gives a block. And now he's gonna cut back, and then
Good block by Curvin.
Would be a touchdown, but with the holding, it comes back.
What of them should have? Chris Torres, the deep man for East High. Was able to get by Andy Brown. Kane once again almost loses the football as it gets across the 30-yard line to about the 31-3-1. On the first down run.
You know, and that's one of the better runs we've seen all year long, too, Mark. I mean, he makes a move on one guy in the hole, makes a move on the safety.
Did I hear somebody say that was like Barry Sanders? Where is Barry Sanders? Is he still in London or is he somewhere in Atlanta?
Barry's on vacation.
The Barry Sanders watch continues. I know a few teams that can still use him. Second down situation, forward over the middle. It is complete. And a first down for the Rebels. Number 10, Bettino with a catch.
Another penalty coming
Maybe
up.
a penalty against East High for a high hit or a face mask. As they try to drag him down.
You know, Mark, that's another situation when Forbes had time to throw the ball. He has thrown some nice passes on the money. Here he is throwing on the slant. He hits the receiver catches it. There's the face mask right there. And that's going to be a 15-yarder. Woo! And once again, the Rebels are on the move, trying to punch another touchdown on the board.
Perkins with a face mask penalty, the East High player. 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. First down for the Rebels. East High territory. Draw play to Kane. Headed backward, gets away. 35, 30. Looking to move on. Robert Johnson to the 20, 15-yard line.
And there's Kane.
He made Robert Johnson reach for air. I'm not talking about Michael Jordan either.
No, but what we're seeing now is, again, here's that draw play. They're coming with the pressure. He makes the guy miss. And here's going to come up on Robert Johnson. And when you got a guy this nifty in the open field, you got to break down. Robert Johnson's coming too fast. When you have a guy that can move like that, you have to break down and make him run into you. Because if you come that fast, he's going to make you miss.
Mr. Kane is certainly showing us quite a bit tonight for South High. Very impressive ball player. 1:30 to play. He has the ball again up the middle. 15-yard line. Loses the ball. They stripped him of the ball. As it looked like he had a chance to take it the distance. His body was going to the right. The ball went to the left. South High says they have it. East High says we have it. Officials, who has it?
They give it South's ball still.
All right. Well, the Rebel fans are staying into it tonight. The Rebels are yelling. Clock winding down here in the third quarter, 50 seconds to play. 42-7 in favor of East High. South High on the move, on the march. The Rebels on the prowl.
The fade is open for, oh,
wide open. Oh, it's a touchdown. Joe Kim up the middle, touchdown, South High.
And that series was a great job by South High staff and their players executing plays, but they kept them off balance. They had draws, they had sweeps, they had straight power plays, they had dive plays, they even passed the ball. So they did a good job of mixing it up that series.
Well, East High defense was definitely fooled by that play. They were moving in the wrong direction, like with some kind of a counter. Kim running it in for the Rebels. 42-13. Zimmerman to kick for South High. Number 35. Ball's down. The kick is high enough. And it is good. 42-14. East High for South High. 3-3 left on the clock in the third quarter. And now the Rebels get to yell once again.
And Zimmerman has a little punch in his foot, too. Here's a touchdown right here. It's a dive play. Good blocking. Runs through one tackle, runs through another one.
Look at him.
And
he wants it.
Drives Johnson into the end zone and scores.
Look at that drive. The Rebels are stating they still want to play football tonight.
And you alluded to it earlier, Mark, that the Rebels are not quitting. You know they're getting beat, and the scoreboard shows 42-14. They're still out here fighting on offense and defense, and that's going to make the coaching staff, Coach Falk and the staff, feel very good about the team.
Well, they haven't quit tonight. They played very well in the second half.
And it'd be easy to quit.
They'd be into the game if they can contain Robert Johnson, but he's very difficult.
Well, and also the turnovers. They've had turnovers with 30 and 35 yards ago, so not even giving the defense a chance. So that's also hurt them tonight. 3 turnovers, that's 21 points.
And they've had 2 solid drives in the second half, very consistent drives, and they don't turn the ball over, they can move the football. When you TO, we have so many TOs, they really get you down emotionally, then the other team scores, and it takes you a quarter to get back to the game. Out a short kick to number 2 for East High. And he takes it out. Logan across the 30-yard line. And East High territory. So the Blades come out once again with 42 points tonight, late here in the third quarter.
And they're coming out with Padilla as the quarterback again.
When Padilla comes through the game, they like to throw the football. They like to air it out. And he loves to throw.
They have some new receivers in the game now, so it looks like Johnson might be through for the night.
David Davis, 89 wide left for East High. Inside handoff goes up to about the 35-yard line.
And you see that guy coming in late there. You got to be real careful when you're by those piles. Because that sometimes happens. The guys come underneath you and hit your legs. And see a lot of knee injuries like that when people come in like that.
At the clock winding down here in the third quarter. 42-14 in favor of East High. You're watching Prep Football exclusively on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 52.
Hello, I'm Lawrence Stroop from Century 21 Stroop Realtors, and I'd like to invite you to watch our home preview show on Tuesdays through Friday at 7 p.m. and on Saturdays at 1 p.m. That's on Channel 11. It's a showcase of homes for sale in and around Kern County with a description of the home, its location, an estimate on the monthly payment, interest rates, and cash to close. It's shopping from the convenience of your own home, so tune in to Century 21 Stroop Realtors home preview show and find the home of your dreams.
42-14 in favor of East High for South High as we begin the fourth quarter of action. Mark Heffernan with Brian Adams from Rebel Stadium on the campus of South High. On a rather cool, crisp autumn evening. It hasn't been cold yet this year. East High has the ball thrown 45-yard line, 1st and 10. Padilla, pitch back. He's running back, hit hard in the backfield. We have some new players coming to the game. Number 25 for East High.
John Morgan there on the sweep. Did a good job of getting close to the line of scrimmage.
And the Rebels came up and smashed them. Rebels saying, we want to play some football here in the fourth quarter as we see some of the Rebel fans in the press box. We are on top of the press box. We're on higher ground. We are reaching for the sky. 2nd down for East High. 2nd and 11. There he is once again. Gain of about a yard. Rebels hitting hard on defense. 42-14 in favor of East High.
And right now, some of the Blades second team players are getting in and getting a chance to play, which is always good. And right now, it's going to be 3rd and about 8, which is 3rd and long.
10:40 on the clock for the ball game. East High using up some of that precious clock. South High wants the football back. Big win for East High tonight. They will be 5-2 overall. South High falling to 0-7. Padilla to throw out of the backfield. To Manzo. Cuts back against the grain, midfield 50, 45, stays on his feet to try to strip him. 1st down, and more and more. To about the 37-yard line in Rebel territory.
And that was a good play right there, and you don't see it often, even in college or pro, the back getting the ball out to the quick flats like that. And here he is making a cut back against the grain. He's going to turn it back upfield and pick up the 1st down with just straight power and desire.
And credit up front for East High to left tackle number 72, Mike Torres, left guard number 56, Mike Olais, the center number 54, Adam Aguilar, right guard number 78, Dave Bunning. Dave is 6'5", 300. Right tackle number 77, Jason Coxey. Tight end number 44, Richard Gomez. That's right, 6'5", 300. He eats a lot of pancakes.
Yeah, he's been doing some pancakes tonight because he's rolled over a couple guys.
Yeah, he's delivering some, that's right. East High has another player which we have mentioned who's 6'6", 290. Two guys, two linemen that are very tall, of good height and size. Remember West High, those two big defensive ends. And that's the team that's improving this year. 9:20 to play in a ball game. 2nd down, 2nd and 8 for East High. Pitch back, cut back to the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and maybe 3 or 4 for the Blades. Morgan, a ball carrier. He's carried the ball about 3 or 4 times in the series for East High.
Yeah, and he had a little toss to the left right there, and he jumped over a man and picked up about 5 or 6 yards.
Well, I must say the South High fans still have a lot of spirit tonight. The cheerleaders maintaining their consistency and their yelling ability.
And that's ridiculous of the team, too. The team has not quit it all tonight either.
Well, I think the picture looks bright for South High in football. Mansell, the ball carrier. 40 on 35, 20. Stays on his feet. He was not Rico. Wow! Touchdown East High. I thought they're going to throw him down the half-yard line. Wow. He refused to be tackled.
And again, East High's offensive line all night long has opened some big holes. They opened the hole there, and then Manzo did the rest with just pure desire, not want to be taken down. Looks like he's a little shaken up there.
Like his right arm or right shoulder is holding. Number 32, a great number. Scores a touchdown for East High on a brilliant run. And White tries to make it 7 out of 7 tonight. PAT. It is up. It is good. Chris White, 7 out of 7 PAT attempts tonight for East High. And he is jogging off the field. Wow, what a game for the Blades.
And here's a touchdown run. You see a good double team block. Fullback kicking out. And here's Manzo just coming up the middle. Now he just pure desire right here to get in.
Drive.
Touchdown.
Thought he would go down at the 8-yard line. He drove past 3 guys before he crossed the plane. Look at Johnson with 3 touchdowns tonight for East. Mooney with a score. Galindo with a score off a reception. Flores with a touchdown. And Manzo. So many guys contributing for the Blades. Have a lot of talent.
Yeah, they do. And like we said earlier, and alluding to Stockdale High, this is the second team we've seen that it really has used multiple players to get the job done. You know, some teams we've seen is 1 or 2 guys, but these teams have a lot of weapons. And I think for them, like you said, it's going to be the ability to be consistent and also for their defense to hold people.
Right. Well, this is somewhat of a surprise to me, the score. I know a lot of people thought that maybe East High would blow out South High, but I wasn't sure had East had this much offensive talent besides Robert Johnson.
And not just that, too. You know, East had a big win against BHS. When you beat a perennial power like that, that boosts your team's confidence of what you can do.
For some teams, when they beat another opponent, a big-time opponent, they come out flat the next game. And East High, not all tonight. Continuing that on and looking very strong this evening.
And that was great coverage right there by Morgan. He's running the ball a few times, and here he is coming down, making a big play on the kickoff coverage unit.
East High with a blowout win on South High's field. They said, we don't have to play at home to win.
South High scored the last 2 times, the last 2 drives, so let's see what they can do on this one.
8:19 to play in the ball game. Pitch back to Kane. Gets past the initial defense across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. On that first down carry. Kane hasn't quit tonight. And neither have the Rebels, but too much East High this evening for the Rebels. Despite the fact South High has played better in the second half than they had in the first half. They've had a couple of nice touchdown drives here in the final half where they'll be able to keep control of the ball. But they have not contained East High's potent offense and their big playability. The pass tipped incomplete. Richard Gomez got a hand on it.
That was a good play by the linebacker. He drops back in the passing lane, puts his hands back, and almost picks it off.
You know, BC has a 6'5" linebacker, and he's from South High, Brooke Miller. 6'4", 6'5", about 250 pounds.
A Rebel product. The Rebels,
has a little wingspan there.
The Rebels have had some good football players in their history and sent some guys some big-time places.
Ball's passing, the clock is stopping more than usual here this evening.
And that's what happens when the ball starts going in the air. Every time the ball hits the ground, it's going to stop.
2 receivers wide to the left for the Rebels. Ford looking that way. Pass down the sideline is caught by Corbin. He may go the distance to the 40, 20, 10. See you later. Touchdown, Rebels.
And Corbin showing tonight that Johnson's not the only receiver that can play. That's the second time we've seen Corbin go up, pull the ball. This time he races away 45 yards after he catches it for a touchdown.
I tell you, Brian, these guys know that you're here tonight. They want to show you what they have.
Well, they're showing tonight. Now it's a good pass and catch right there.
We are seeing the receivers get into the act tonight.
Yeah,
nice play by Kerwin. He really goes up the ladder very well and can run with the football after he catches it.
Yeah, he does, and that's what a good receiver does.
You know, he's had a good game, as has Kane. So from their individual standpoint, they've padded some stats, and they have made some plays tonight for South High.
And Mark, they're both young players. Kerwin's a junior and Kane's a sophomore, so
yeah.
I mean, Coach Falk has a lot to look forward to next year, even though this year they haven't done what they might have expected to do or wanted to do early on.
Let's see this play again.
He's already cut the ball.
He's taken off to the races.
And now he's just shut the Jets off. Now he's just going to cruise it on in. He's going to coast in. Puts it in neutral.
Well, the defender went for the pickoff that time. Once Kervin caught it, the defender fell down, and Kervin was all alone.
Yeah, Kervin showed a real good job of concentration. A lot of receivers can jump up, but they don't catch the ball because they don't focus on the ball when the other hands are in the way.
He made that play a couple of times tonight for South High. We have seen a lot of scoring this season. This is our highest scoring game of the year on Time Warner.
Yeah, we have, and usually we see just one team score, but this tonight, in the second half,
South High, 3 touchdowns in the second half.
Scoring, yes.
So kind of a shootout here. But South High definitely has picked it up in the final 2 quarters. Defense has been a problem, but offensively they're getting their act together. There's the onside kick recovered by East High. And one of their big guns fell on it at midfield. Don't get in his way, number 77.
Jason Hoxley showing some hands. He's been blocking good. Now he does a good job on the kickoff coverage, kickoff return.
Yeah, he knew what to do with it. He knew what to do with it. East High with the ball at midfield. And a 49-21 advantage over South High. And the game that has turned very offensive here in the second half for both clubs. Padilla, quarterback, came on here in the second half, suffered a bad back injury last week. Missed most of that game against BHS. Manza running hard to about the 45-yard line in Rebel territory. It was never good for the North to enter Rebel territory or vice versa.
Not usually, but tonight for East has been good. East has been real efficient tonight when they've gotten the ball in Rebel territory of scoring touchdown.
Second down, long 5 for East High. Padilla looking over the defense. Long count. Looking for the option. He'll keep it himself. Dives forward to about the 41-yard line. He'll be shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd and short for East High. So Padilla showing his running ability. Paul Padilla, 6:30 left on the clock. 49-21 East High over South.
And East continues to show different sets and different ways of making offensive plays.
I hope we see East High again this year before the season runs out.
That would be nice.
They're a fun team to watch. 2 receivers wide to the right. The ball to Jesus Manza had a long touchdown run. He has a first down inside the South High 40-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for East High. Would you like to see a rematch between East High and Stockdale somewhere down the line? Or maybe East High and Centennial?
East High, Centennial would be nice. East High, Stockdale, BHS, Stockdale, Centennial. All 4 of those teams are going to be competitive with each other.
But of course, you kind of wonder how the season will be in another couple of weeks. The other 3 Clovis schools that are unbeaten, they will have to play each other during the course of the regular season. It depends on how the seeds go as to who will play each other. And you have large and small school divisions in the Yosemite Division this year. They began it last year. Inside half, the number 16, running behind a big offensive line. Beltran, I believe, or Beltran, Frank, for the Blades. I believe that East High is in a smaller division than Centennial or BHS when you enter the playoffs. In the Yosemite and Sequoia division, you had a large schools and a small schools within the division. And I believe that East High was in a smaller division. They played Senka last year when they got beat. But we'll see what happens. They were in the same division as Stockdale, though, because they played them last year in the playoffs. 12:50 to play in a ball game. A straight run up the middle. It'll be a first down for East High. Real ball players driving the running back.
But not before he put the first down. And right now, they're going to sit there, run the ball behind the big line, and run the clock out.
And the clock continuing to run at least momentarily before that timeout. 4-4-4. Will Powell, number 77 for South High, making some hits on the defensive line. Will's 5'11", 315. 5 feet 11, 315 pounds, number 77 for South High. Let's hit some people. Of course, he's going up against a guy who's about 300. Mooney in the backfield, drives forward for a couple. Across the 25 to about the 24-yard line. Mooney had a great first quarter tonight for East High. And he and Manzo have been a great, excellent pair in the backfield for the Blades.
Yeah, they both complement each other very well tonight.
Out of clock running at 3:50 to play. Galindo and Johnson have been out of the game for some time offensively for East. Two receivers wide right, ball on the right hash mark for Padilla and company. Pitch back to Manzo. Has Mooney in front of him to the 20-yard line, 15, dragged down from behind at the 14 by Johnson, 34 for South.
That was a good open field tackle by Johnson because it was open for a touchdown there, but he wrapped up strong and took him down. Nice play.
East looking to surpass that 50-point mark. Maybe not looking that hard for it. 3:25 to play. Now they flung two receivers wide to the left. The South High fans continue to show their spirit. Padilla, QB for East High. He's primarily here in the second half. Pitch back to Mooney to the 10-yard line, running hard. And they're calling it a touchdown. I guess his knee did not touch down at the 2-yard line. He showed some great balance. Wow. It looked like he dropped down at the 2-yard line, but he kept his hand to balance himself and then flung his way to the end zone.
And they crossed the 50-point barrier now.
Wow. What a performance by East High tonight. And White trying to connect on another PAT attempt. And the kick is up, and it is good by Mike White. What a game he has had. He is 8 for 8 PAT attempts tonight. There's a run.
Here's the sweep right here.
Manzo in front of Mooney.
Now Manzo switching up, good block, kicks him out, and here's Mooney, sits on him, keeps his hand down, puts on his feet, touchdown. Good balance. And that time Mooney
sat on Zach Moore, number 40 for South.
And put his hand back down and jumped on his feet and
incredible.
Touchdown. And nice balance.
Wow.
You know, and that's those reversal rolls on that one.
Well, you know, Mooney has scored a couple of times. Johnson scored 3 times. Galindo, Flores.
Manzo
has gone down the line. I can't even keep track.
And that time
so many people have, so many people have taken part in East High scoring tonight. A lot of weapons.
What I like about the two running backs is they block for each other. That time we see Manzo kick out for Mooney. We've seen Mooney many times open up some holes for Manzo.
As it makes you successful. You block for each other. It's a lot of fun playing for each other, too, playing with each other. And East High has done a lot of it on the ground tonight. They pass the ball very infrequently. Padilla passed the ball more than Torres, but they really just have taken them to South tonight. We've really had an offensive second half this evening, though. Both teams putting some major points on the board in the final 2 quarters. East High's offense shooting fireworks this evening. As the ball comes to Kane, the 5-yard line, fumbles it, picks it up at the 10-yard line. Eludes one man, goes to the 20, 25, and knocked out of bounds.
And right there, Kane made a good play after bobbling the kickoff. And you see it a lot even on the NFL and college levels, too. Sometimes that bobble ball makes the defender stop or kind of move in, and you end up making a nice return.
Kane makes a lot of guys miss him, though. And he just has a lot of natural ability.
Ball gets away from his eyes. He picks it up, though. And now he's going to make a guy miss, which we see him do all night long. Oops, there you go.
He makes a lot of yards on his own. He just needs more assistance. 2:55 on the clock. South High with the ball at their own 27. That draw play to Kane to the 30, 35-yard line. Scoots past the 40-yard line. First down for South.
And that draw play has been open again because East High's defense has been getting tremendous pressure upfield, so they're just coming right behind them.
I would keep on running it as the South High players down on the turf at the 43-yard line.
Looks like Kim is on the ground this time holding his arm.
East High utilizing more players on defense.
Right now they're pulling on Kim's arm.
My sister is an East High graduate. She graduated many years ago. I won't say how many. But I emailed her the other day and said that they had defeated BHS for the first time since '86, 14-13. But no way that I think their offense would be this impressive. For a copy of tonight's game or any other local program on CNNSI, Time Warner Cable Channel 52, give us a call. We are standing by right now, or at least sitting by. Call us at 322-1941, 322-1941. No, we actually do have an East High connection, part of our crew at Time Warner Cable. We have a couple of students from East High.
His name is Zach Flores.
Zach Flores. I like that name. Ray Flores, and he is not related to Zach. They just have the same last name. Kane with the ball to the outside and driven down after gaining 3 or 4 yards. Did you guys know that the top 2 characters in a weekly TV show, a national show, their names are Heffernan? I just found that out the other day.
No, didn't know that. You lay it to him?
No, their character names are Heffernan.
I'm sorry.
That's not that's a very unusual name. It's very rare. I just found that out the other day. It's a program on a national network.
What show?
It's on Monday nights.
What show?
I don't remember the show.
You sure you're not making this up?
You'll find out. It's on CBS on Monday nights. That's all I know.
What time?
Hey, we're on Time Warner Cable here. We can't talk about another network. Pitch back to Kane. Midfield 50, 45, and to the 44. CBS doesn't pay our salaries.
And there's Kane. Kane's had some tough runs all night. Here again, he's getting the ball.
I said the network, but not the program.
Blake gets penetration. He makes a miss right here. Excuse me. Good block.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And then good open field tackle.
I can't deliver all the secrets. First and 10 for the Rebels, 1:25 to play. At East High, 45-yard line. Kane, is he going to throw back to the quarterback? Ford to the 40, 35, looking to cut back, 30-yard line, and down. It's first and 10 for the Rebels.
And Kane does it all. We've seen him throw the ball. He's 2 for 2 on passing. Running the ball, making guys miss. Here he is, Kane going back, throwing back to the quarterback. Nice little spiral. Quarterback gets in there. Watch Ford here in open field.
And a nice cutback.
Making a little move right there. Oops, again. Oh, you missed 2. Oh, now go down.
Bernie and the crew naming him Citizen Kane. That's really original.
That's Mike. That's Mike, Citizen Kane.
Okay. That is so original. Very creative. Second down, 6. For the Rebels. Timeout, 49 ticks on the clock. Maybe I should say 49 seconds, I don't like ticks.
Well, obviously going to try to come with some play to go to the end zone. They're going to try to score one more time before the game ends. And
let's flip it into the end zone. Let's go. 49,
how you doing? We're in here.
As we're at South High Field tonight, Rebel Stadium. And the South High fans have really kept into the flow of the game tonight.
Yeah,
as usual, keeping that spirit alive.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, the South High band wore these uniforms exclusively for you.
No, this time meant for you.
As
the band director told us about.
That's right. And I have given her a lot
There's
of
Mitch down there. How you doing, Mitch?
A lot of promotion tonight. Free promotion. Mitch, you're doing a great job.
And that was a picture of Ray Flores on that last one, too.
Mitch loves those Los Angeles Lakers. He wants to take Shaq down low. Forward to throw, rolls to his right. 30-yard line. He will run it 25-20. Has the first down, I believe, as he is drilled at the 20-yard line. And South High is calling another timeout. 39 seconds left. So South High definitely wants to score again tonight. There's Bernie and the crew.
And there's the other Flores. There's Zach Flores right there.
Some people think that Bernie just watches videos all night in the van.
And there's John,
There's John
up here with us.
Our ace cameraman. High atop the press box here at South High School.
39 ticks left.
Two receivers wide to the left for South High School. Ford and Company looking to score again for the Rebels. Looking to the left side, fires it over the middle, incomplete behind his intended receiver, Zatino, who's had a few receptions tonight for the Rebels.
There's a young future Rebel right there.
Look at that score, 56-21 in favor of East High over South High. We have Bakersfield College against Santa Monica in a couple of weeks from Memorial Stadium. Then we have BC against LA Southwest the following week. We'll have back-to-back BC games right here on Time Warner Cable.
Oh, the
draw
fumble.
plays, fumble in the backfield. And the Blades have it.
East has it.
James Cannon comes away with it. 55 loves to raise his hands. Thought he was scoring a touchdown.
And there's my man Mike come up with
Hey,
Citizen
Mike.
Kane. What's going on,
All right,
Mike?
Mike? Oh, yeah. Mike looking good tonight. "30 seconds on the clock."
Oh, man.
56-21.
And the Blades should just take a knee right here and should end the game.
Take a knee, Ty. Take a knee, Blades. The Blades cutting through the Rebels tonight. Slicing the Rebels in half. As East High now 5-2 overall, and South 0-7 for 1999. South with a lot of juniors and sophomores playing this year. They will only improve as this year progresses and they go into next year. They are going to be a better football team, especially centering around Corlin and James Kane, who's been a brilliant player for South High tonight. They couldn't contend with the size of East High's offensive line, and a brilliant offensive exploits by East High as the clock is winding down. 9 seconds, 8 seconds. The final score, East High 56, South High 21. On CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 52.
Renegade football on Time Warner Cable. Catch all the Bakersfield College home games exclusively on CNNSI, Channel 52. Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. with encore showings on Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. following high school football. Hard-hitting, high-scoring, that's BC football. Brought to you by Motor City and Mish Funeral Home.
And the final score tonight from South High School, it was East 56, South High 21. East High is now 5-2 this year, and South falls to 0-7. East High had too much for South to contend with tonight. A lot of offensive players and a big offensive line, which just wreaked havoc for South High.
Yeah, when you have that combination plus turnovers on your own 35 and 30 and 40-yard line, you're just asking too much for your defense to do.
Robert Johnson led the parade for East with 3 touchdowns. He did 2 of them running the football. He's a great receiver and punt returner. Paul Padilla played the second half in place of Torres for East High. James Kane was an exceptional player for South High this evening, as he just ran the entire game 110%.
Yeah, Citizen Kane, as Mike calls him, really did a good job tonight of running the ball. He showed a lot of elusive moves. He made the first guy miss consistently, and he ran hard. Plus, Curvin, a junior, also came out tonight and had a breakout game as a receiver.
South High scored all their points in the second half, 56-21 East High. The Blaze look very good.
Yeah, the Blaze do it, and they're going to be a force to reckon with when they get to the playoffs, if they can play like this.
East High from the Southeast Yosemite League, South High from the Southwest Yosemite League. The final score again tonight, it was East High 56, South High 21. For Brian Adams, I'm Mark Heffernan. Good night for CNNSI, Time Warner Cable, Channel 52.